So this is truly an honor to have our next presenter with us this evening. Take time out of his busy schedule to come to North Idaho to a little Eagles Lodge in the middle of nowhere to share some pretty powerful and profound information on a topic of water. Does anybody recognize this book? Fourth Phase of Water? This is my personal copy, so it's not available. But there is Amazon. He maintains an active laboratory at the University of Washington in Seattle. And he's the founding editor-in-chief of Water, a multidisciplinary research journal. He's the executive director of the Institute for Venture Science, and he's the co-founder of Fourth Phase, Inc., and also the founder of the annual conference on the physics, chemistry, and biology of water, which I believe takes place every year in Bulgaria.
So I saw this demonstration about 10 years ago at a conference. It was demonstrated by a guy named Shogo Ueno from the University of Tokyo. And Ueno was experimenting with superconducting magnets with huge magnetic field. And he put a trough of water right in front of the magnet, and for effect, he put some red dye into it so the water is not clear, the water is actually red. And he turns on the magnet, and when he turns on the magnet, you can see what happens. Moses could be walking across the Red Sea. I had been studying muscles for many years, the molecular mechanism of muscle contraction, and I came to realize that the people who were interested in understanding how muscles contract at the molecular level presumed that all of the important proteins were acting in the absence of water, that is, in a vacuum, where in fact, in your muscles, most of your muscles are water, and this seemed really odd. I wrote this book this is 2001, dealing with the role of water in biology. It went beyond just muscles, it went to cells in general, and the idea of how cells really work. The evidence he adduced was that you can get quite a few layers, maybe dozens even, of layers that line up before thermal motion begins to take its effect. So that inside your cell, most of the water would be this kind of ordered or structured water, as he liked to call it, rather than water in a glass. And you probably can see why this would be important, because in biology, a central idea is that molecules diffuse freely through the medium of the cell. But if the water is like this is kind of like a crystal. It's not possible for the molecules to diffuse through. This is not new. More than 100 years ago, famous colloid and physical chemist William Hardy, well, he has the name Sir before his name, so he must have been pretty important, I guess. He said, something's screwed up here. He said, water, there are so many anomalies or anomalous properties of water. What does that mean? Properties that don't fit the theory of three phases, that is, solid, liquid, and vapor, that there must be a fourth phase. This is 100 years ago. He was talking about a fourth phase. The number of anomalies now, you can find, just look under water anomalies, you'll find a famous website, and you'll find, I think the number is now up to 70 or so.